Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today I am once again biting off a little bit more than I can chew with all of these holiday releases. Today we have a massive Dior video. I had a bunch of different Dior products and I was going to divide them up, and then I thought, oh, let's just do it because we got a lot. I got so many new releases coming up and so much, so we're just going to shove it in. I will make sure to have timestamps and all sorts of stuff down there if you're more interested in one than another. I'm so glad to have you here, and make sure you do give me a visit and a follow over on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads. But let's get started with what we have to do today here on YouTube. That's right, we're going to just do all of the Dior holiday together, eyeshadow palette wise. I didn't pick up any lips or anything like that, but I do have it all linked below for you guys to check out, so you can find everything that Dior is offering for holiday. And while you're in my description bar, do check out our $4.99 a month membership that you can be part of here for weekly gossipy lives and all that good stuff. That link is down below in the description bar as well. So today we are going to look at the two brand new Dior Backstage eyeshadow palettes. Silver Essentials, which is number 11, and number 10, which is Copper Essentials. And we are also going to look at the brand new Diorshow 10 Colors Blooming Boudoir. This one is $140, and these two little guys are $52 each. All three offerings suffer from this unfortunate new 6-month shelf life that Dior claims, and we're all waiting to see whether that is true or not. It's a little bit worrisome. What we're going to do to get through all of these, as I will timestamp, as I said, and I'm dividing this up into sections, giving each its own little section so that you can see it and use those timestamps if you need to go ahead. We will also be doing the swatches within each individual section as well, and then talking about it in recap at the end, because I do have some very specific opinions here. Hey, if you have yet to subscribe to this channel, make sure that you do. I know that YouTube recommends channels that you've seen before, but it actually is quite helpful to me if you can actually subscribe. And if you have subscribed, give a look down there and make sure that you're still subscribed. All right, let's go right now, waste no more time, and go to our demos. Let's start off with the Dior Backstage palettes, because we do have two new ones. Dior Backstage is really a favorite of mine, and a lot of people say it's kind of the more affordable, lower end extension line for Dior. I actually disagree. I think Dior Backstage is just that. It is used by working makeup artists at fashion shows and whatnot, thus the name Backstage. I do think the packaging is no frills, but that's the reason for it. It's the working artist Dior, and I love it. So we have Silver Essentials. Of course, we're going to swatch these, and Copper Essentials, 11 and 10. So 10 and 11, I should say. And they are a cool and warm fest. You can wear either, both, or, you know, if you love the cool tones, finally one for you. Now, for a while now, for a bit now, we have had the primer replaced. So Dior Backstage palettes always used to have an eye primer. I kind of liked it, actually, but you know, I guess it went out of fashion, so to speak, and has been replaced with one real kind of shimmer shade right there, and then a bunch of velvety kind of creamy mattes and a shimmer shade right there in each palette. So here, first of all, I don't have to worry about hiding the mirror from you, is the number 11, the Silver Essentials. And then we're going to look at the satin and shimmer shades in number 10, which is the Warm Copper Essentials palette. Take a look at that there. We're going to do 1 and 1 eye look here. These are $52 each. And of course, they suffer from the 6-month syndrome. I think these are going to make it a lot longer than 6 months. As I've said in the past, I definitely keep most of my palettes, since I don't share them or anything. They're not bacteria ridden. I keep them for quite a few years past what it says to, I admit. The question is, with this new 6-month thing, are they really going to start to kind of self-destruct? I don't know. We'll have to see. Let's take a look at these in two different lights, and we're going to try them both on. Here is on the left part of my arm, I think it's pretty obvious, Silver Essentials, and towards the wrist, Copper Essentials, first in studio lighting. They're beautiful palettes, really fun, especially, like I said, if you love the cool tone shades. finally something for you. Although Dior Backstage is pretty good about providing this. Let's take them outside now into the warm California sunshine, because when you can get out into some natural lighting, it's really going to show you the infinite possibilities with these pretty little palettes that they are. Okay, $52 each, and we are going to do a look, one on each eye. These will not have the benefit of mascara and eyeliner because we're going to do Diorshow next, and I just can't keep taking on and off that much makeup. Let's go ahead and get started here with this shade on this eye in this cool tone palette. This is really, for me, very holiday. It reminds me of a kind of Christmas tree decorations. That was easy enough. This is a Sonia G. Kiyaki handle, keeping a hold of it, and then coming into this shade right here. Sometimes I actually prefer neutral on my eyes to cool. Sometimes cool does make me look a bit dead. I admit it, as so many of us say, right here into this one. Same shade. I'm just kind of putting this on and seeing how these shades look on my eye. And underneath, these are almost getting a bit of a purple tone to them. I do like an occasional cool tone shade, but like I said, I tend to go for neutrals. And the interesting thing about these two palettes is it's definite warm and definite cool. Let's take this same brush that I have here and just kind of do something into the corner just to darken it up a bit. I was looking a bit Snow Princess there for my liking. PRINTcesses, yes, but not Snow Princess. Okay. All right, and then let's go ahead and dip into this shimmer shade here with my finger and just put that across the lid. Very pretty. And if you enjoy a cool tone look, I can't see why you'd be unhappy with that. You have to use your imagination a bit for some bold mascara, which would be beautiful. All right, let's switch to a much, much warmer look that we will get right now with the number 10 Copper Essentials palette. This is a really pretty one, but it is indeed very warm. And like I said, not only do I tend to prefer neutral over cool, sometimes when it gets too warm like this, it can be a bit much. So let's see what we do with it here. Let me go into this shade here and just take this on the side. Okay. Very pretty. I'm trying to keep it from getting too warm. And see that, as it gets into this bottom row for me, I'll use it a little bit, but as it gets into that bottom row for me, it can be a bit much, to be honest with you. But these copper shades are beautiful. When it comes to warm shadows, coppers are better than burgundies, I have to tell you. I'm missing mascara and eyeliner. Let's go ahead into one of these deeper shades. I am admittedly staying away from the albino labrador red there. Okay. Is that getting too warm? What do you guys think? Is it getting hay fevery? And let's go on with this beautiful gold. Okay, see what you think. Okay, those are just two quick looks just to kind of show you what you can do with this palette, with these palettes, I should say. Very pretty, very warm, very cool, very mismatched. So let's go out on a bang here, and I'm going to take this off, and then we will get into our big 10 color Diorshow palette. Stay right there. Okay, and now I suppose what is really the star of the Dior show, and that is indeed the Diorshow Blooming Boudoir. This is the 10 color palette. We have to look at the packaging. As nondescript and as simple as the Backstage packaging is, counters how fancy smancy this one is. This is $140 to the $52 of the Dior Backstage. We have fabric here, and it's white. I just have to make sure I always have makeup on my hands. I have to be very careful here. And it is indeed beautiful. And we have, as mentioned, 10 shades. Those little 2 in the middle. And there's a little, I don't know if it will show up, it's a little stamped CD down there. Very pretty. Huge pans. This one really is kind of, it's a Baroque inspired aesthetic, Dior says, but it's really all about the formula. This is a cornflower enriched floral water. It's, you know, supposed to be creamy and comfortable, and they certainly are very, very creamy. We're going to try one even as a blush, because why not? Even though it does describe itself as an eye palette, we are not to be stopped, right? Also made in France, also with the, dare I say it, ridiculous 6 months prognosis. 6 months. It's just not long enough, and you'll never use this much up in 6 months. So the hope is that this will not self-destruct in 6 months. And before the advent of clean beauty, we could guarantee that. Now I'm not so sure. So let's take a look first at this in studio lighting, and I did it in 3 rows, giving the middle 2 shades their own row. So there it is in studio lighting. They're very pretty. It's an odd color story, is it not? It's definitely a bunch of different looks in one palette, and I suppose that is why. The yellow and the pink in the middle and the hot pink, it seems like it's trying to be a lot of eyeshadow for one palette. It's really kind of all over the place, and you may disagree with me with that. That's fine. All right, let's take a look at this now outside in the warm California sunshine so you can see it better. The colors are very pretty. The formula is indeed lovely. As cohesive as the Backstage palettes are, is as all over the place as this is. So not only is it completely different in terms of packaging and display, this including having a mirror and being its own palette here, I don't know. This one is, it does seem to me to be all over the place. We'll do 2 different looks. You could probably get 10 or so different looks out of this. And of course, if you're spending $140 hard-earned dollars on this, you would want more than 1 look. Whereas the cohesive version of the Backstage is $52. So, you know, you're kind of getting a one-trick pony there. This, you're getting a many-trick pony that may self-destruct in 6 months. We don't know yet. All right, let me take this little pink here on a blush brush. Let's just try it as blush. The pans are so big. Why not, right? So I do have a little bit of the Mahogany Dior blush from last season on, but on camera, if it's not overdone, you don't see it that much. So we'll pretend that it's in there. I just want to see if it would work. Remember, none of these are meant as tutorials, though if you learn something, that's fun too. But they're just meant to try out the product. Again, you know why I say it, because we get new people all the time. I'm a journalist, not a makeup artist. I'm a beauty editor, not a makeup artist. I just want to see if the stuff works. Actually quite pretty as a blush, and if you're spending the money on this, it's nice to make it a face palette. I have way overdone it there. Just so you see, there's not really any good highlighter shades. Maybe this one. It's a little deep for me. Yeah, that could work. Let me just put on it a little bit as a highlighter. Why not? I'm just trying to make this more, you know, worth the money and explain what I see as an odd color story. I don't know. Okay, we got some Sonia G brushes here. We'll do 2 different eye looks. We'll start with this pretty shade that I just put on my cheeks here. And I will say the formula is lovely. You know, this kind of cornflower silkiness, it really is quite lovely. So I'm going to put that there. It spreads on the eye like pretty much nothing you've ever seen. This feels a little spring to me. I'm going to stay with the same shadow here. It feels a little spring to me, but let's go ahead. Maybe that's what we need with winter coming on, is a little bit of brightness. Doesn't seem very holiday to me, but I do approve of that. You know, Clé de Peau did something that wasn't very holiday either. And I should have said, really, when we talk about an eye primer being left out of the, I'm going to put this in the middle here. When we talk about an eye primer being left out of the Backstage palettes, Clé de Peau has that still, right? Okay, so this is, I'm really doing a very gentle eye here. Very gentle. I'm just going to put this kind of darker. I'm going with these orangey shades. It's kind of a 1960s retro feel. I mean, I know it says that it's going for Baroque. It's going for Baroque. I wasn't trying to make a joke there, but I did accidentally. But I feel it's kind of giving 60s. Kind of a color block 60s. What do you think? Really pretty, but looks very spring, doesn't it? All right, let me switch. And let's try to do something maybe a little bit more wintry. Okay, so let's go in here and do something maybe a little bit purple. This one has the benefit of mascara and eyeliner that the others didn't. Okay, and I gotta go orange. Like, I don't really have a choice but to go orange. I'm trying to kind of, I'll do a little, something maybe a little bit smokier here. I am down on brushes. I cleaned a bunch of brushes yesterday and they're not quite dry yet. So I really don't have like my favorite blending brushes dry right now. I know. I have to wash my brushes a lot, you guys, because I can't come on camera with dirty brushes, right? So I have to wash them more than the average user would. You know, usually you just wipe them off and, you know, you can use them again, but I don't want to come on here with dirty brushes. Okay. That's actually really pretty. Is it looking like I got punched? That's kind of pretty. Hey, same palette. Hard to imagine, huh? What about one of these shades here? What about this yellow shade? Oh, I'm going to ruin it. If I blend it out? I mean, why not? Actually, it's kind of cool. I don't know. It's a weird color story, you guys. I don't know. It's not bad, huh? Okay, so we got two different looks, as funky as they are. And I was able to make kind of a makeshift highlighter and certainly blush out of it with all those pinks. Not meant to be a face palette, but I can't imagine not using it as a face palette, especially for $140. My criticisms of this one is, this is lovely, but it's white fabric. Don't get it dirty. And I think the color story, frankly, is a bit strange. If these are your colors and you love them, you can go from dark to light, and you can use it, as we said, on cheeks. Certainly a collector's edition, but the 6-month supposed 6-month shelf life does leave one wondering. In terms of the Dior Backstage that we tried on first, this warm, I think you can get this copper palette anywhere. I think Charlotte Tilbury maybe does it better. And her look back to her Golden Goddess and her copper shadows. But I think if you are a member of our Cool Tone Revolution army here, it's just a little joke we have in joke here. Anybody can join. It's totally free. You just state down below that you're a member. Those are the people waiting for cool tones to take over the makeup industry. So if you are a self-proclaimed member of our Cool Tone Revolution army, this will be a must-have for $52. I'm not personally sold on the Diorshow 10 color, but if you are, I would love to hear from you and tell me why you love it. Certainly the shadows are delightful to use. I can't hold that against them. So we definitely have that going for us. All right, let me know your thoughts below, because I mean, that's what makes us a community. I'm really curious about what you guys think. There's a lot of beautiful products coming out. I got Chantecaille coming up. I've got Estee Lauder, a new foundation that I've been testing out for a few days now. We've got a bunch of new things coming up to you. I mean, it really is the time. I had NARS yesterday. It really is the time for all these new holiday releases. So let me know what you're saving up to buy and what's important to you. Charlotte Tilbury does have some things coming out. Pat McGrath, of course, how could I forget? Lots of good stuff coming up. So let me know. Make sure that you like this, give this video a thumbs up and like it if you enjoyed it. You know, share and subscribe and all that good stuff. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Bye-bye.